Welcome, and thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy this video, we invite those of you who haven't yet done so, to like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the notification icon, to be notified when the next one is uploaded. We appreciate all comments, whether positive or negative, because it is very important to ventilate both sides of any issue. All we ask is that you observe the YouTube community guidelines. We'd like to urge those of you who haven't yet done so, to sign our online petition for an inquiry into the BBC and Channel 4's coverage of Lewis Hamilton and Abu Dhabi. A link has been provided in the description. If you are on X, then please repost our tweet. Thank you. Since 2021, we have done several videos highlighting and tracking what we thought of Toto Wolff, from just before Abu Dhabi, when we thought highly of him, to now. We therefore think it would be instructive to put his words, actions, and behaviors under the Lewis Hamilton microscope, from the beginning of their relationship to now. We will be using a lot of information provided by our commenters, and are very grateful for their contribution, which we have found immensely enriching and supportive. By way of a brief background, both Toto and Sir Lewis joined Mercedes at the same time. As we pointed out in our previous video, Toto joined the three-point star at the beginning of 2013 as a shareholder, from a low-ranking Williams team, where he had gone from investor to director. At that time, Ross Brawn was team principal, but he left at the end of that year because he concluded that he could not trust Toto and others at Mercedes. Toto replaced him as team principal, and has held that position to date, with his contract recently extended to 2026. Ross, because of his distinguished record as an 8-time Constructors' title winner for 3 different teams, that spawned 2 different drivers' champions, is widely regarded as the one who built the foundation of Mercedes' success. He was responsible for bringing in Sir Lewis, who came to Mercedes as the outstanding talent, who beat his double world champion teammate and came tantalizingly close to winning the title in his rookie year. To recall, he went into the last race of the 2007 season leading the championship, but because of some technical issues with his car during that race, he ended up losing the title by just 1 point. He subsequently went on to win the title the following year. Following the same pattern, Sir Lewis won his second title in his second year at Mercedes, contributing 69% of the victories that gave Toto and Mercedes their first constructors' title. The following year he contributed 63% of the victories that gave him his third and Toto's second title. In both years, Rosberg was second as the Mercedes domination started to take shape. Then came the critical year of 2016, in which Ross had released his book stating that he left Mercedes because they were forcing people on him that he couldn't trust. Coincidentally, this was the year in which Toto switched Lewis's trusted mechanics with Nico's at Nico's request. This switch was summarily effected after Sir Lewis had spent 3 years forging his mechanics into a winning combination. Toto opted to switch on the grounds that he wanted to diffuse the growing tension between the 2 drivers, when in actuality he was accommodating Nico's grouse that Sir Lewis had better engineers. At the time Toto claimed that, "We didn't swap everyone exactly, but the principal mechanics were swapped. We realized that the 2 sides of the garage were getting quite rattled and too competitive within their own structure, so we wanted to make sure that there was not too much ganging up against the other side of the garage." He added, "Everybody is on the same team, everybody is being paid by the same company, and therefore it was important to show that you're not Team Nico Rosberg or Team Lewis Hamilton, you're Team Mercedes. Without wanting to harm either of the drivers, we just decided that we needed to make a point here." Interestingly, this is our first example of Toto engaging in denialism, a trait that we will find him displaying frequently and to increasingly outrageous levels. The only person to benefit from the switch was, and could only have been Nico Rosberg. Sir Lewis, who as at Paul Stirling 2610 noted, has a talent for forming strong bonds with his mechanics and engineers, was the one losing the team that he had built up over 3 years, and was clearly the only one who was, and could have been harmed by the switch. So, Toto saying they did it without wanting to harm either of the drivers is textbook denialism. Sir Lewis responded that mechanics don't have an effect on setup. The biggest effect it can have really on the driver is psychologically, but that is not something I want to go into. It is rather odd that a team principal who had previously said he was not a school teacher would subsequently turn around to swap a winning team at the behest of the losing driver. It is also instructive that Toto was aware that when he imposed personnel on Ross without his knowledge and consent, it caused him to leave Mercedes. So, it could be argued that he was trying to push Sir Lewis out by taking away his trusted engineers and imposing others on him, without his knowledge or consent. This opinion is shared by many of our viewers, including at Paul Stirling 2610, at Rudeboy SW9, and at Uragibson RC1LW. The overwhelming opinion of our viewers is that Nico's retirement, days after clinching the title, put a spanner in Toto's plans, and that was why he was forced to rebuild the relationship between him and Sir Lewis, which had broken down because the Brit felt he could no longer trust the Austrian. This opinion was informed by the fact that throughout the 2016 season, Sir Lewis was repeatedly bedeviled by mechanical problems, while his teammate who was enjoying flawless and problem-free runs, was able to scupper off into the distance. In response to the growing clamour of what he labelled lunatic conspiracy theories, accusing the team of deliberately sabotaging Sir Lewis to aid Nico, Toto claimed that the last thing we would do is sabotage Hamilton. Again, this is denialism on an escalating scale, because when you switched Sir Lewis's winning engineers without consent or notice, and then he started suffering mechanical failures that did not affect his teammate whom you gave his engineers to, then you are in no position to decry lunatic conspiracy theories. That would be like the boy who cried wolf, denying that he was responsible for the villagers not believing him. Toto refused to take any accountability for attracting the criticism because of his conduct, even though we understand from at Uragibson RC1LW that Nicky called him out for it. In an astonishing display of cognitive dissonance, which we will also see Toto displaying frequently as we delve further, he doubled down on the sabotage conspiracy theory, by claiming that in the Russian GP, Nico had experienced a technical problem as well, which he described as a strange signal from the power unit. And a reporter concluded that the alleged problem did not stop the German putting in the fastest lap towards the end, and was another nebulous enough reason for itchy fingers to start typing on Twitter. So, Toto can be seen to be fueling the so-called conspiracy theories, because he was doubling down on denialism, by protesting too loudly in a display of cognitive dissonance. We will continue our review of Toto Wolff's words, actions, and behaviors under the Lewis-Hamilton microscope in future videos. Thank you.